computer. Is it me starting? Hey, everybody. Welcome to this NatCo Cafe that we try to make regularly. And today it's very exciting because we had kind of our startup the last 4 days. And we saw lots of activities on the different social medias. Chrissy, you have to learn how I see all those people that make a hashtag insignia, or I don't know how to see it, but I could see there's lots of activities. There was lots of activities between our citizen science as well, and helping and supporting and making questions. And Chrissy, maybe you give some comments on this because you are the ones that are most online on the social media, at least more than me.
I can do that if you wish. I mean,
Yes.
I already wrote it in the channel. I'm very surprised that so many citizen scientists are active in social media. And as Fleming said, they are tagging us, so I can see it through our Instagram and Facebook channels. And what makes me really happy is that they reach out to each other. This is cool.
Mm-hmm. So that they
Yep.
talk together. That's
Yes,
really
they
nice. That's
talk
really
with each other.
Yeah, yeah, they do. Internationally, that's very,
And
very
there are
nice.
so many questions from other beekeepers that are not in the project. They all want to join our project, and I need to say, no, sorry, we are running already, and there's no chance right now.
Okay, other comments in general, because this is a total open NatCo Cafe where we just wanted to hear how are you doing, everybody? How did it go? I could at least say for Denmark, because I called all my citizen scientists this morning, because you're very often scared of the silent ones, the ones that do not kind of respond. Or I asked them, we have a Facebook group in Denmark, and I asked everybody of them to post some pictures, just some pictures. Didn't matter actually of what, and then only half of them they did. And then I called all the other ones, but everybody has installed and put up the Insignia. And I have to say that what we're doing in Denmark is that we had I did go to all, because Denmark is a small country. So I went to all the citizen scientists and handed over the toolbox to them. And we also try to have an online meeting just before, you could say, the sampling, maybe the day or maybe 2 days before. So everything seems to went well. We have one comment, and that's unfortunately, Ivo, that's the propolis grid from our specialized propolis collector that we have in Denmark, and he does collect quite a lot. And of course, he's not using officially the same grids as us, so he is per definition negative. But his complaint was that if you're not very accurate on putting the grids on, the bees, they kind of pass by, and then they are above and then they are below, and I'm not quite sure what he meant about that. I can see for Langstrot frame size that I have, the size is simply not big enough. I mean, I cover, let's say 95% of the top frames, but I don't see that it's any kind of big problem. And then I have to admit something that I'm not happy to admit. The new ones of you maybe do not know, but in Denmark, we over the other years we used what I call a bottom pollen trap, which is very, very good if you want to produce lots of pollen. But now we have installed front pollen traps on some of some of our apiaries, especially in mine, and I have to admit it's so easy. So just to collect, let's say, those 10 grams, 20 grams of pollen that we need. So that I have to admit that maybe, so what are we going to offer our citizen scientists actually when we have a meeting here is, do you want to have a front pollen trap? Then we will organize that for them. But otherwise, it was great weather in Denmark, and it was very nice, and we just had a great 3 or 4 days. So that's for Denmark. I could see Konstantin, you wanted to.
Yes, thank you. Actually, I shall say also soon goodbye because I have a plane to catch soon. So just wanted to say that in Romania, it looks like everything was fine. We kept in touch all these 4 days. All the 15 beekeepers installed all what is needed on the hives. There are some questions from the beekeepers. For instance, they ask if the fact that they use plastic in their hives, like they have a sponge that they block the entrance, or other plastic accessories inside the hive, would that have any importance for the microplastics?
I mean, it's a good question. Just to go one step back, is that these are citizen scientists. We are using their boxes on their conditions. That's kind of the thing. And I do not believe that, I would say, solid plastic where the bees are not chewing in will have any big effect on that. Please, everybody else that knows more about microplastic than me, please comment on that. So, but it's just important to kind of say that we have the citizen scientists, we have the way that they're running their colonies, and we have the colonies, and they just have to run it like they used to do it. Of course, having in mind that there might be a silica band, there might be an epistrip or something like that. And that's actually it. And that's the conditions and the best way we can do it.
I can add something to
Yeah,
that.
please.
At least we will ask for all the synthetic materials which are attached to the hive or in the hives in one of the Lyme survey questionnaires. I cannot say anything regarding the analysis, but at least we will report this to the labs. Yeah.
Okay, I see. So this was important because, as Fleming said, there are some plastics like the sponge at the entrance that the bees can chew, and they do. So that could create a fine dust of plastic that, I don't know. But as Chris said, if they report it, probably it will be okay. So that
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. And for otherwise, we have all the materials. The propolis grids have just arrived. We shall send them to the beekeepers. My question is if we know when the remaining epistrips will arrive to
Okay,
us.
well, we are so lucky that Amadeo just joined us, and I know that they have been under, I don't know what you call that, pressure for 2 weeks, more or less now. So Amadeo, how are the epistrips doing, the last ones? I think they're more or less ready.
Yes, tomorrow we just we finish all the preparation of all epistrips, and tomorrow will be delivered to the countries that have not received all. But so I think in 2 days everybody will have the epistrips.
Yeah. But this is totally perfect, Amadeo, because we also have the propolis grids, so we can kind of ship the epistrips and the propolis grids in one shipment, and I think that then everything will be fine. So thanks a lot.
Oh no, thank you. I'm sorry for the delay, but you know, sometimes we have to wait around 2 weeks to deliver before delivering. So, but yes, we have now we are packaging this morning, and we will deliver tomorrow.
But since Amadeo, you are here and you are the specialist into the microplastic, Konstantin, he actually had a question about plastic within the bee colony, and you were not online at that moment. So maybe, Konstantin, it would make sense if you repeat your comment.
Okay.
So the Romanian beekeepers asked what happens in case they use inside the hive different items made of plastic, even that polyethylene plastic that they put on top of the boxes sometimes, and especially the sponge that some of them use to block the entrance, but because the bees used to chew these materials, and the question is if that would influence somehow micro plastics.
Well, I think that the best idea is that the beekeepers work as they usually work. But also, obviously, as we can distinguish what type of microplastic we detect, probably the feedback of the beekeepers telling, I have used this, and probably you have to subtract these plastics. What I mean to subtract this plastic, because these plastics cannot from the environment, this plastic comes from the beehive inside, and we can do it, but I think it's the best way. If you agree, obviously.
Yeah.
But if you excuse me now, I'll say goodbye and well, see you at the next cafe.
Yeah, but you cannot leave us without telling us where are you flying to? Where are you flying out to?
Brussels.
To Brussels?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay. Have a safe trip.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, thank you. Are there others that want to comment on how did everything go? Did you have any problems, especially if you had some problems? How did everything go there?
Yes, I could
Yeah, Marita, please.
Beekeepers ask that what they can use, because they had difficulties to take out the silicone bands out from these small jars. They were so small that they have difficulties to take them out. Can they use some tool, this, for example, wooden sticks? I said that no forceps, no scissors you can't use, but can they use something to help to take them out?
But why are you not using the
because
the
they had difficulties using when they have
okay,
gloves on.
Finnish beekeepers have big fingers. That's the
Yes.
point. Okay. Okay.
They are so small, the jars, that they had difficulties. I got this information from two beekeepers, and I was with one beekeeper. She had first the beekeeping gloves and then the nitrile gloves, and this was impossible to take them out. Very difficult. I was with her. I saw it. So can they use, for example, wooden stick or something?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, for sure. You can use it. No problem.
Okay. And then there has one beekeeper. She didn't put the propolis crates because she said that they are not collecting anything because we have still some more snow now. And so I asked her to put, because everybody is putting now and you have to put them on. Please put them on. And one beekeeper had difficulties to install the pollen traps, and she said that she will, doesn't it matter, because we are collecting pollen trap next in a 2 week, so why we have to put it on now? I said that you have to put it on now because everybody are putting on. This is a research project, but she said that they have possibility to put it on after 1 week. Well, I said that you have to put on this to do a report, then everything you make different than is in instructions. So these are some small problems. and one is again, but I have to talk with Ivo, because they changed this apiary without asking me. Then there is 15-kilometer difference. So I will send you the new. Yeah.
Yeah, basically it is what it is. So just send the new coordinates and we'll log them.
They are just, sometimes they are doing what they are thinking they didn't. It doesn't matter where is it. It's just somewhere.
But I believe that we also have to realize that we will discover the real life within beekeeping as well. So that's how it is. Preben.
Yeah. Do you hear me? Did I unmute myself?
Yeah.
I have one beekeeper also. They had to move the location of the apiary, and I already sent the information to Bas about that. I didn't get any reply whether it's okay or not. It's 1 kilometer apart. It's in Stockholm, and the colonies are on roofs, and the roof that were planted on, it's under reparation, so they cannot put it there. I hope it's okay.
It is what it is, Preben.
I can't do it better.
Yeah, we have to work with what we have in our possibilities. So the landscape will not change with 1 kilometer away, and we will just link it to the landscape types in the end anyway. We try to do it as good as possible from the beginning, so that when things would shift, the impact would be as little as we can hope for. So it is what it is. We just continue, and let's keep everybody in the project. That's the main thing now.
Yeah, because what our problem is in Sweden, we don't have any places in cities with low diversity. It's medium or high diversity, everything. So
okay,
that's fine. Thanks.
And then Alice, and then afterwards Anna.
Hello. So we did the round trip this weekend, these 4 days, and actually the last day, yesterday, the last apiary, we set up everything under heavy rain. It was the first time that I opened a colony under heavy rain, but everything went well. Regarding the propolis grids, we have in the 10 apiaries, 3 have Langstroth. So we noticed that problem, and I was worried, but it seems that you also have that problem. So hopefully it won't be a problem in terms of storing the propolis. The other hives are small, so the grids covered very well. And I also have the problem of the pollen traps, because we were doing the work with beekeepers, and we were in a rush to travel from one place to another. The traps were not installed, but they will be installed this week. I don't think it's a problem because we only need the 24 hours pollen collection. Of course, we need them to be installed before, so the bees get used to the pollen trap. But I want to hear your opinion about installing the pollen traps, like in a few days or so.
Okay, I can tell you that I on my own apiary, I just did a test pollen collection, and I got, I think, 20 grams in from each hive, so it worked very well. I just did it because I was curious. Anna?
Okay, so I have 2 problems. One beekeeper is going to start 2 days too late because the package for him was lost, and we found it. He's going to get it today, I hope. And that's it. That's this one beekeeper. And one apiary had 1 colony too small for 4 grids, so instead they put 2. And that's it. Everything else is okay.
Okay, super. Ivo?
Yeah, thanks for mentioning it. And in reply to Alice, Alice, now the whole project is dead. You're too late. Now we can throw it all away. No, it is what it is. And you already said it. The bees need to adjust to the pollen trap being in front of the hive. So, of course, we try to standardize because it's easier. But if you have a few days, it is what it is. And that is also the same, Anna. Great that you mention it. Please make notes, but then we start a few days later. As long as we know what happens, we can account for that, and we put in a bit of room in the whole setup, so we should be okay with that. And I think you already did a very great job instructing everybody and being very strict at the front. Make sure that we don't get too many crazy things later on. So it is what it is, and we just roll with it.
Thank you. Okay.
Any other comments? I can tell you, we are all now sitting, or I hope at least been translating the questionnaire that Robert and Chrissy will send out. And please note, everybody, that you will get the question for the next sampling round, where you are asked, when did you put in your samples or your matrices? And from my and from my own experience from last time I did it, I was not able to remember that. So please ask everybody to make a small note when they put them into the bee colonies, because suddenly I mean, after 2 weeks, you don't remember exactly when you did it. So it's just a small hint. Preben.
Sorry. I've been working on translating this on the Google Doc today, and I have a question actually about this, because it's one of the last questions. We said we have not received information on the previous Insignia-EU sampling, and so my question is, what do you mean with previous? Is that the one? Is it the latest sampling, or it's the one prior to the latest sampling? Because it's not very clear to me. And I'm sure that if I just translate it into Swedish, I will get questions from Swedish beekeepers. What do you actually mean?
Thanks, Preben. We mean the latest sampling.
Good.
Is there a better translation in English for that? Shall we change it to latest sampling?
Well, we have a native English speaker here. Maybe Norman, you can clarify that.
Sorry, say that again.
Well, the Chrissy asked is it a better word to use instead when you mean the latest sampling? Is it better to say the latest Insignia-EU sampling or the previous Insignia-EU sampling?
Well, the most recent, I suppose, would maybe get around that.
The recent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but as long as I know what, sorry,
coming for the next one. Yeah.
Yeah. As long as I know what you mean with it, I can translate it into Swedish. So that I don't get any question from Swedish beekeepers. What do you actually mean?
Mm-hmm. I already changed it now to on the recent Insignia-EU sampling.
Okay.
Thanks.
While I remember it, Robert, I saw you were just making some different groups, picture groups or folders in our Slack.
Oh, yeah.
Please give us some comments.
There is a new channel. Everyone should be a member. If not, please join it yourself. It's open, but I tried to add everyone. We can collect their pictures that you want to share with us, that you received from the citizen scientists, that you made your own. So this can be shared there, and maybe this can be used for social media posts or for blog entries or so. Maybe we can also advertise here, Chrissy and Norman, that we want lots of blog entries with lots of nice pictures of people doing the stuff that they need to do for Insignia. We want to see the environment. We want to see how the hives are looking. We want to see the hives with the Insignia logo on it. This is really great. So I created this channel, and yeah, feel free to post there every picture that you have.
And include some captions, please. Otherwise, we will not know.
Tell us where it is from and maybe who took the picture and so on.
Yeah, pictures of people doing things.
Yeah, I believe that we really have the possibility to be very, very successful, active on the social media, really presenting the project. And this sampling round showed me that things, they kind of exploded. So please, everybody, make pictures, ask the beekeepers to make pictures and send it to us or put it on Slack, and then allow us to use that on social media. And I would say, Christian, Robert, it might be that we'll come back to you guys. Please make some text for this nice picture, and then we will post it up back. I think that's the easiest way to do it. Other comments?
Because the translations were mentioned for the Lyme survey, do we miss some countries, maybe some countries that are present here today, so that we can ask them to finish?
Yes, we do. For example, I think Slovenia, Malta is missing, Slovenia, and Some of you have not translated every cell. Please do so. I know there are cells that are full with repeating texts, but some minor words are different. For example, the sampling round. It would be much easier if you just translate every single cell.
What I noted was when I went into the Google map and it was the Google document, it kind of opened in the middle. And then I started translating downwards, and it was just by accident that I kind of saw, okay, I didn't translate the five or six rows on the top. So please scroll up and scroll down and check out if it's there. And Robert, you have a comment.
Yes, just to be synchronized in translation, what is the difference between the long and short time formic acid treatment?
Okay.
It is 24 hours, or what is the difference? Because
Actually,
the beekeepers
Robert,
asked.
Robert, you should know that because this is taken from the.
Yes, I know it. But the others, for the others.
Maybe I can.
Do you want to explain it, Preben?
Well, I can. Yeah. Well, usually the definition short term is 1 to 2 days, and long term is 1 to 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Yeah, that's a definition. You can always argue what's in between 3 days and 1 week, but yeah. I don't really know. I don't know why it is needed to specify whether it's short term or long term. It of course has something to do with the amount of formic acid, I suppose. One short term treatment, you don't apply that much formic acid as you do with, for example, a long-term treatment with formic acid. And actually, I wonder, because when I was translating that also, I saw it mentioned max, mite away quick strips, but actually in Sweden now, it's not registered as max. It's registered as formic acid not, NOD, and I believe that it's probably like that also in other countries. Okay. But you might know better.
Yes, that's why I am putting the local names of the local products the beekeepers use. But when I compare it with other translations, they do not use it. Yeah, so just to notice that it is the best way is to put the names of the local products which are usually used in the country.
Yeah, because max is not registered in Sweden. Formic acid not is registered in Sweden. So that's that's the example I mentioned. Exactly.
Yeah. Because I believe that in Slovakia only the long formic acid treatment is in use, but half of the beekeepers check also the short term. Yeah, and they do not know what is the short term and long term. That's why I'm discussing it. That it will be good to target the beekeepers. Okay, this is the right answer.
Robert, that's a very good idea to include the local names of the products registered. That's actually how it should be. So these are only examples. And for the formic acid, I don't expect that much residues. I mean, it could be that the acidity could change something in the residues that we find, but actually we are mostly aiming here at the hard synthetic acaricides. And here you can mention, for example, Tactic as Amitraz, which is, I know, used in the Eastern European countries, but not in other countries. So please add here the local brand names that you have.
Okay, Janja, I think it's, it's Janja's turn.
I think Preben was before.
No,
I've been talking so much, so you go ahead. I'll try to remember what I wanted to say. So go ahead, Janja.
Okay, thank you. I have 2 questions. First, for the propolis grids, I have one beekeeper that is using how can we call it, traditional hive? It's a Slovenian type. It's Alberti-Žnidaršič hive, which is open from the back.
Mhm.
And
famous
4
insect
propolis
hive,
grids
right?
are. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
Janja, the famous AZ hive, is it?
AG.
Yeah, AZ.
AG. So you don't have that letter. So Alberti-Žnidaršič. So the problem is to put 4 grids. It can fit maybe 2. So that's the only situation when we will have only 2 grids per beekeeper. So that's one thing. I hope it's okay because it doesn't fit 4. It would be too much.
It's the
And
same in Slovenia, Janja. It's the same
Yeah.
in Slovenia. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew that we'll have the same problem. So, and the other thing is I need the help to translate because I don't understand. We probably use it, or the beekeepers. I found during translation a great variety of things for smoking. I never saw.
Yeah.
It was really interesting to translate. I didn't know that actually we can use some of those things. It was really, so I need help with ignition plates. I don't know how does it look like, or how do we use it, to smoke the bees. Ignition plate, it translates, I can tell you in Croatian, but it doesn't mean anything. So
Maybe you have a suggestion.
I don't know how to translate. We don't use, maybe
I can comment on this. Janja, do you sometimes do a barbecue?
Okay. Yes, of course.
Yeah, you can buy some things that you can use to start the coal in the barbecue. That's what I would call an ignition.
Okay, I know.
Sorry, Prem. Yeah.
No problem. That's what I had translated into exactly what you use, and I know beekeepers. Some beekeepers use it just to start the smoker, and then they put other things in. And actually, about the smoker material, I wonder whether you should add a other, and they specify also because, well, you can say you don't use a smoker, yes. But some beekeepers, they don't use smokers, but they use, for example, Fabi spray or something else like that. Or they use water, or they use water with, for example, lactic acid and so on. So maybe we should either, well, think about it, add other and specify. That was one thing. And the other thing is about varroa treatment. I don't think any of beekeepers in Sweden are using the 10 beekeepers are involved in this. They don't use these oxalic acid glycerol strips, but maybe you would be interested in getting the information if beekeepers are using it, especially if you use it in plastic material that will give a lot of microplastics also. The thing that you use in Denmark, that is sold in Denmark, for example, Flemming, that will give a lot of microplastic, I suppose.
Could be, none of them are using it, so.
No, but none of the Swedish beekeepers are using it either. But yeah.
So you say, Preben, that the emphasis here is on the glycerine.
I mean.
So the emphasis here is on the glycerine because that's the new substance, right?
Well, yeah, no. Well, the glycerol, that's the other substance, but also the material that they, you dissolve oxalic acid in glycerol, and then you put it in some material. Like, for example, Randy Oliver, he's got on this household paper. But in Denmark, strips are sold, and I believe it's a kind of plastic material, sort of plastic fiber material soaked in this, and they put it. And we have questions about that in Sweden also. None of the Swedish beekeepers who are involved in this project use it, but I would say maybe you cannot exclude that some of the 370 beekeepers in this.
Preben, you know how the game is. You have been part of the game for a long time. What do you suggest that we add here as a category?
I don't know.
You have been part of the game many years,
yes,
and you know
yes.
how it goes.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, on the other hand, you don't want to. Maybe other. I don't know how to say other application methods.
The point is that we want to know the substance, right? And here you say that the plastic matrix could be of interest, and then we could find out in a analysis that those beekeepers that are using that product, they have higher microplastic values, for example. So the emphasis here then should be not on the glycerol and the oxalic acid, it should be on the plastic.
Exactly, and that can also go for the way you apply formic acid, on what kind of material you actually apply formic acid for short-term treatment, for example.
But isn't that something that we should add then at the kind of materials that are made out of plastic? Chrissy, we ask for plastic materials, but we don't ask for like oxalic acid evaporation matrix, but we could add it there. Amadeo.
Yeah, yes. Yes, probably it is interesting. I don't know how complex. Sorry. I don't know how complex it is to get this information, but if it is possible, could be helpful. And also in case that in some countries, they should send to us a small part of this plastic supporter, we can evaluate, because sometimes imagine that you are using PPE and the plastic is PPE. If we have this information, can be helpful. I can understand that considering all the global data, it will not affect very much. But yes, we are open to receive a small strip of this plastic material, and we can evaluate what type of plastic is, and then we can, to find a little bit to refinement of the evaluation. But I don't expect big impact. But think about it. If Christy can get this information, the next step could be to say, okay, send me if you can this plastic supporter, and we can keep it in mind for the final results.
Great.
It's clear? It's clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can promise that you will get oxalic acid strips from 2 types from Denmark, exactly the ones that Braden talked about.
Yes,
that would be very nice. Do you want us to ship them right away, or do you want us to wait until we have the product? Do you want to have them right away, Amadeo?
Yes.
Okay, great. Any more comments, everybody? I mean, it was such an exciting weekend and such a good weather in Denmark. And I'm sorry, Alice, but when I saw the picture where you had the umbrellas in Portugal, I thought, yeah, you guys should deserve rain down there.
Yes.
So I think it was good for you.
Some beekeepers acknowledge because we brought the rain. Because we haven't had rain for many weeks. So we are blessed,
Oh dear, Alice, and we are going to Chile together. Oh dear. Yeah. Robert Klebo.
I'm just interested when we are going to ask the beekeepers about the type of the hive. About the
okay.
Robert, are we going to ask them? Why should we ask them? What do you mean, the frame size or the materials? I don't get. What should we ask, Robert?
Styrofoam boxes compared to wooden boxes. I think that's the main thing, isn't it?
Yeah, we will ask that when we ask about the plastic materials. Chrissy, is that right? We don't have any other plans.
No.
No, Robert, do we miss something, or what
we would like to ask that with the last sampling round. Do you need the information earlier?
Which type of hives they used, yes? Which frame sizes?
The frame sizes, yeah, we will ask about the frame sizes and which materials are made of plastic at the last sampling round in August. Do you need that information earlier? Why?
No, I am just interested.
Okay.
How you know how big frames they have, which type of hive they use, because then it has no sense to ask if they have lower boxes or bigger boxes if we don't know which frame size they use.
Yeah, we are aware of that, and we will use it for the analysis. So we will ask for that at the last sampling round.
Just for information, Robert, previously we asked for the name like Langstroth, Dayton, Zander, and so on. But this year, please take a careful look. The question is already in the Google Doc. This year we are asking for the dimensions in millimeters, I think. And there is also a sketch how to measure this, because we have a big list of different frame sizes and how big they are, but then you have 8.5 and 3/4 length, or whatever. So at the end, in August, we will ask about the frame sizes directly in millimeters. And if they have two, I just say, if they have two different ones, they can fill in two different ones.
Okay. In Finland, we have mainly, most of them have Langstroth and Farrar, and then mixture of these ones. So I understood that this means that in the questionnaire that the half size box is maybe the Farrar in Finland, and the full size box is Langstroth, or how I should understand this. And then when they you ask in this what we have to translate now, this Lime survey question, there is one question that or one line is that give us the frame size of type 2 in millimeters. I understand that if we have Farrar and Langstroth, so it's this the second one, the Farrar frame size, the upper measurement, and then there is two lines. There is side 1 and side 2. Do these mean the height of the frame or what?
Yes, I think you have not seen the sketch that Chrissy made. Chrissy, I think this is not part of the Google Doc. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
No,
But
it's not.
There should then be a picture that identifies which side is which side. We could have also written, instead of side 1 and 2, we could have also written width and height, for example.
Yes, that would be much more clear. Thank you.
Okay, Preben.
Yeah, I think I agree with Mary there. I think that would be clearer. But then a picky question is it inner or outer?
Yeah.
I'm sure that I will get the question from Swedish beekeepers if you don't have the sketch. So is it, you know what I mean?
This is not a picky question, because we actually, Chrissy and I discussed this last week, and I would say it's inner, because you need the frame sizes to identify how much much bees are in there. And usually the wooden parts we don't count usually. They're not populated. So I would say it is inner.
Good. Yeah.
But there will be a graphic explaining this. And if there is no disagreement, we will use the inner frame size. So the size of the wax comb, and not the outer length of the top frame, for example, which does make not much sense.
No, I agree with you, of course, also because sometimes the top frame in some countries are quite thick and
or long.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm sure. I certainly agree.
So inner dimensions.
Inner dimensions.
Okay.
Inner dimensions. That's a good word.
Okay. Are there more questions? You know, my handball game is approaching. More questions, more comments. Please feel free.
I have 2 requests.
Great. Thanks.
Okay, the first one is please translate the cells for us, you know that. And the second one is for all those people who have not yet provided us with the translated picture manual, please do so. Please send me the picture manual.
Okay. More comments, or otherwise we have done the meeting in 50 minutes. That's very nice and very disciplined. So
one more thing,
yeah,
sorry,
yes,
Fleming.
please.
And I will highlight all the changes to the I will highlight all the changes in the translation document with yellow color. So you know which words are new, and yeah.
Then thanks a lot, everybody. I can see Amadeo, he's on the way to make classes, so we don't want to disappoint his students that he will be late. So thanks, everybody, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Good luck for the game.
Yeah.
Bye.